Why? What the? What? 5.5 points? They have 1 million penalties a game. What are we? 5.5? Am I crazy, bro? 5.5 is an insane number in this game. Hello, welcome to Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You. Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You. And by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. It is Thursday, September 25th. I am Geoff Schwartz alongside Matt Ford. We do every Thursday. We talk about the National Football League. We give you, by the end of the show, our 5 favorite wagers of the week. We try to win. It's not going great at the moment. We'll try to do better this week. We were 1-4 last week, Matt, even though I'd argue that we should have been at 2-3, and the game we actually won is the game we should have lost. We had Tennessee. That was dead on arrival. Houston, really, that was a game that was never really in it, but we could have covered that one. Should have covered New England, who turned the ball over 5 times and fumbled twice, heading into the end zone, and we should have covered Denver that lost by the hook. Instead, we get the Eagles and Jordan Davis to cover for us, Matt. So 1-4 week, 6-9 overall. We'll be better this week.
Yeah, it's hard to say that we got shafted last week when we got probably the luckiest cover I've ever had in my life, with the possible exception of the week prior when we got the leverage call. So, strikes and gutters. We're on to next week.
Okay. The Patriots won. They fumbled twice, or they turned 2 turnovers into the end zone. I think the Patriots are on the no-wager list now, to be honest with you, in Tennessee.
So can we talk about a no-wager list? Because I think Tennessee, I think the entire betting public needs to be banned from Tennessee. Tennessee, 3-17 in their last 20 against the spread. Yeah. They can't do anything. Like, I can't say one thing that I'm like, well, at least they can do this. They can't do anything.
And I'm fairly certain the 3 games that they have covered have been the 3 games they've won. Like, Brian Callahan is 3-17 as a head coach in general.
Yeah, right.
Like, I think that they're legitimately just unbettable, unless you want to bet, the Texans this weekend, which I don't want to do. And you fade them till Brian Callahan essentially ends up losing the job. And then we'll see what happens to the Texans or Titans after that happens. Cam Ward is not bad, but the coaching decision-making process there is just not good. And so we'll better this week. Look, this is something that we put these into a contest, right, Matt? I'm at the point where NFL sides are just difficult to actually wager on, right?
Okay.
There's a difference between contest plays and plays you wager on. Those are 2 different things, right? Now, of course, we're giving these out because we like them, correct? And they're we're trying to win money in the contest, right? So obviously, like that, they're there for a purpose. But I was talking to a buddy of mine who does this for a living. His life is gambling. He said he puts 1/4 of a unit now on an NFL side and puts a full unit on props and totals, because the sides, man, it's such a sharp business on the NFL, and we're at a point now where the usual things that win over the years are not winning anymore, right? Now, last week, to your point, you mentioned this all last week, that week 3 is a week where these favorites tend to lose, and they did, right? The Packers lost, the Falcons lost big. Yep. We should have been on the Panthers. We knew it. We should have done it, Matt. We didn't do it.
I guessed all the wrong sides. The Jaguars, yep.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see if it holds this week with some of that idea. But these sides, man, it is difficult business, buddy.
I think this is an interesting conversation that's definitely happening across the betting community because, for example, the Titans again this week. In the past, it's just an auto bet, right? It's a divisional team that's coming off of an embarrassing loss, catching 7. You just take the dog, especially against a team that's winless. And now, the way that the Saints, that we'll get to that line, that's touched 16.5, 17 this week at Buffalo, and Buffalo's the side. And I think that there's just something that's changed in the last couple of years in the NFL, where if you've been following this for as long as we have, everything just kind of flipped. And I think I get your buddy's point about, just slowing down on the bets on the sides. I think it's just sort of a bit of a recalibration. And the reason that people like him can do that is you can be sharper on the props, on the prop sides. They're smaller markets. People aren't paying as close attention. If you have a read on the Noah Gray's over under, like you're probably going to be able to hit it, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to bet the sides. I know. I get it, but like fortune favors the bold, Jeff. Like, let's get in there.
It is the hardest thing to do is bet these sides. And we're going to do it.
We're going to do it, man.
We're going to keep dodocumenting these.
The word hero gets thrown around a lot these days, buddy, but we're going to be in there betting on the AFC South. Like, we're brave.
We are. There's some sides that you're not going to like that I like this weekend. And it's almost to the point where you got to figure out whether or not you think about the old way you used to wager or the new way you wager. We'll talk about that when it comes to one specific game that's probably about 17 miles from where I sit right now in New York City. Matthew, let's start with Thursday Night Football. I do like a prop a lot in this game. I don't know if I like a side, but let's go.
Interesting. Well, the game in question, of course, is the Seahawks laying 1.5 at Arizona on Thursday, the day you will hear this. What is our credo with taking these games? First of all, are we allowed to put this in our 5? Because I actually think there is a good side in this. If
that side is Seattle, yes, we may put it in. No, it's not Seattle. It's Arizona.
It's Arizona. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Seattle has benefited from a nice little early season boost. I think they are still getting a lot of credit for blowing out the Steelers. Their 2 blowout wins are over 2 very sketchy teams. I just think that the Cardinals, they had a strange loss that, they're going to get dinged for, where they obviously gave away the last drive.
Yeah.
But I think these 2 teams are pretty even. And, this is the kind of the old way of betting, right? You take it's a divisional team going on the road in a short week, and there's a team catching points at home that's like kind of good. These teams are pretty much even. In the old days, I think this would have been a nice play for the Cardinals, but it sounds like you're on the Seattle side.
I'm not really on Seattle. It's more just I think Cardinals without James Conner, I got to see what they're like offensively. It's why I actually like Kyler Murray over 29.5 rushing yards in this game, Matt. I think I gave out Kyler Murray on one of my podcasts last week for over rushing yards. Look, without Conner there, who's been such an important part of the offense over the years. Now, this year he's not produced at the same level he did last year, but without him in the lineup, Matt, I think Kyler Murray has to do more offensively, which may be good. It might be good to have to use his legs a little bit more and get him more involved in the game with what his skill set can be. But I don't really like the Cardinals ever, Matt. You know what I mean? Like, and I understand the idea that let's sort of fade a Seattle team through 3 weeks that really hasn't played anyone. But they're better all over the field, and that's my concern here. The thing about Thursday games that really makes it hard is that they're just so wonky, dude. Like that's the hard part about wagering these Thursday games.
They are, and Kyler is 2-8 straight up against the Seahawks. This is that random like wheel of death in the NFC West. I don't know. There's something fishy to me about Seattle laying points on the road on a short week, but we don't have to take this one. I agree the Connor thing is big, but also like he misses games every season. Last year he played 16 games. That was the most he's ever played in his career. So I don't think it's like it's a big loss, but I don't think it's like the biggest ever loss. But I get it. We can leave this one out. The Thursday games in the division are always wonky anyway. Hey, speaking of wonky, well, there's a game in Dublin this week. And it's between Carson Wentz and Aaron Rodgers, and it's at 6:30 in the morning my time. Are we fired up about this game? How are we feeling?
I didn't realize it was in Dublin. Otherwise, I would have said let's back to Steelers at 2.5. But I think this doesn't count as a home game for Pittsburgh, right? Where the 2.5, I know it sounds weird that this game is overseas in Dublin, but and why we wouldn't take Pittsburgh. But I don't want to bet a 9:30 Dublin game, Matt, quite simply.
Well, there is 1 point to possibly make here, and that is that we could be betting an underdog Mike Tomlin team against Carson Wentz. Like, we could put that into consideration.
I mean, well, so here's
I get that it'd be backing Rodgers, but like, what are we doing here?
Well, so the question is can Pittsburgh, I guess essentially, are their parts good enough to play the Vikings if the Vikings don't need Carson Wentz to be the guy? If that makes sense, right, Matt? Like, can the Vikings with their defense and their offensive line, their run game, control the game and make it to where Carson Wentz doesn't have to do anything like last week? And then that forced Aaron Rodgers. The Steelers did not play well last week. They need 5 turnovers to beat the lowly Patriots, a bunch of dumb Patriots penalties, and all this, just bad football by New England to win that game. Minnesota's superpower right now is they're just a good team, Matt, right? They're good on defense. They're good in the offensive line with Darrisaw's back now. They looked even better last week. Jordan Mason has a little bit of pop in the run game that Aaron Jones wasn't really giving them. Carson Wentz isn't great. I get it. I'm fine with fading him as much as possible. But again, if he doesn't do anything, then the Vikings probably wouldn't cover this game. But I don't really think I want a part of a Dublin game to be in the card here. We sort of stay away from the international games.
Yeah, that's right. Tomlin has only coached one overseas game, and it was in 2013, and it was a loss to the Vikings, which is kind of strange.
Interesting.
I mean, this one, I feel like it's going to be so obvious what happens in this after the game ends, but right now it's not clear what that is. It could be Carson Wentz as a favorite is a good thing to fade, but I don't trust Pittsburgh at all. I think the thing with Pittsburgh moving forward is like, they're going to beat the teams that are worse than them. They're not going to give anything away, right? Like the games where it's, oh, we actually have to keep up with a decent offense. Like, no, they can't do that. Their defense isn't good enough. But if it's, hey, this team's going to turn the ball over 5 times, can we win?
Yeah.
They're going to be able to do that.
I agree.
Every year, man, Pittsburgh. The line in that is 2.5. I'm not sure if I said the number. If I did, then you got it twice.
Yeah.
All right, 2.5 for the Vikings in Dublin. Moving on to the 1:00 slates. Jackson Dart is catching 6 points at home to the LA Chargers. Our producer Hank made a great note that we have played the side against the Chargers every week, and we are 0-3. So what is the definition of insanity, Jeff? Is it betting on the Giants catching 6 at home against the Chargers for a 4th straight week?
I like the Chargers cover this game, Matt. I know you hate it, but like we just talked at the open about how we might have to think about these games a little bit differently, right?
Yeah.
And I get a rookie quarterback making his first start. We don't know nothing about Jackson Dart. He played well in the preseason against a very good Chargers defense, right? Giants offensive line looked better with Thomas. Malik Neighbors, by the way, did not practice as we record this on Wednesday with some sort of injury, which is not great because they don't have Malik Neighbors. They have no one to throw the ball to. You have a Chargers offense that – a little shaky at the offensive line, all sort of looking like, he needs a little bit of work at left tackle, but, nonetheless, they're moving the ball, Matt. Herbert looks really good. There's no letdown. Like, I don't think this is a letdown spot for the Chargers at all. And would it surprise you if it was 24-10? What I mean? Like 27.
Nothing would surprise me in this.
27-13. The Chargers score a couple times late. I think the under is certainly in play here at 43.5, with the Giants not being able to score. And the Chargers have not scored a ton of points the last couple weeks, 20 and 23. But as I mentioned to Gabe the other day, the best thing that Harbaugh's done there is that they're not charging anymore, or they're not losing games they should win. It's a wager we don't often make, but maybe there's a Jackson Dart is super energetic for this team. The Giants play better. I get it, but the Giants just I don't think are any good, Matt, and that's part of it as well. So there's no home field advantage here. So like this number to me, it doesn't scream like it would have been a different number. But I'm okay backing the Chargers. It's 6 right now in DraftKings. Not my favorite, but I do think the Chargers are the play here.
Yeah, it's not my favorite either. The Neighbors thing is huge. I just feel like this is like 3 years ago, this would have been an automatic Giants bet.
Correct. Yes.
Automatic. And now it's sort of like, well, the Neighbors thing is huge. The offensive line thing is huge. I have this every like once a year, I get this feeling of like, I think they might just blow this game outright. Like this could be that game where it's like, wait, the Chargers, like last week, like the Packers lost. Like it could be that week, but I I'm not. I don't know. I haven't had a good read on the Chargers all year. Obviously, we're 0-3 against them. If you want to put this in the maybes, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, and the Giants are that sharp team again this year, like
right
last year that everyone, all the sharps are on and just get their ass kicked every week. So they're also play much worse at home than on the road. This game is at home, back-to-back weeks. The Chiefs' offense, Thornton ate him up, like who's supposed to be a fourth wide receiver, on a good team. So
yeah,
they're in the maybes. Let's get to the next game. This one feels like the East side is too easy. It kind of worries me.
Yeah, it does feel a little too easy. We're seeing 3.5 points for the Buccaneers at home against Philly. Bucs and Eagles have played 5 times in the last 4 seasons, and the Bucs have won 4 out of those 5. Have scored at will on this Eagles offense.
Yeah,
no Mike Evans, maybe some Godwin, maybe some Wirfs, depending on what happens in practice in the next couple of days. What do you think here?
I like Tampa a lot in this one, getting 3.5, Matt.
Yeah,
I like the way they play. I like, and this is, we've never said this on this podcast. I like Baker Mayfield, the way he's playing right now. I like their fight and their effort. Their offensive line injuries are concerning. That's a concern of mine. Also, the health of Lane Johnson is a concern for the Eagles. Yep. They need a pretty fluky Sunday to win that game, obviously, as we know. And the Bucs, dude, they just never fight. Like, they're a team, honestly, Matt, that I'd be happy to watch down 10, needing a touchdown to cover for us. Like, they're going to go down and score. They're going to score. Guess who's not going to score? Cam Ward's not going to score. Right? Jackson Dart is not going to score for us.
Yeah.
Give me the Bucs at home. It's supposed to be 100 degrees, I think, in Tampa Bay this week. Like a super hot game. I put this in like the yes for me so far, so on the show.
I'm with you. Baker, second most profitable quarterback as an underdog. He is 15-7. I just think, look, the Eagles are going to get their comeuppance at some point. They've played 3 very weird games, and we already talked about last week. The Chiefs game, even like that, they got a few lucky breaks in that one. So I just think this hook is strange. I guess maybe the public is worried about no Mike Evans, but I have a feeling this could go in the other direction. So I think we're getting a good number here at 3.5. So
I think this is at 3 or 2.5 by kickoff.
Yeah,
it probably actually goes 3, blasted 2.5. Immediately, someone takes the Eagles, gets back to 3. My guess is it kicks at 3. Around 3, like 3, 2.5 by kickoff. It will not be 3.5 after this comes out on Thursday and Friday. I promise you that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Still on the DraftKings app, I'm still seeing that most of the bets are about 50-50 and the money is on Philly, which is surprising. So something to note. We could be wrong here, but this one feels a little bit too easy. Okay, the biggest spread of the season so far is Bills Saints. The Bills coming off of days of extra rest, hosting probably the worst team of the year. The number's 15.5, and is it crazy to like the Bills?
Should we just do it? I think we play the Bills.
Okay,
make
the case.
They beat the shit out of these teams every single year at home. We make this case all the time. The times they don't are the division opponents. Right? It's like the Dolphins and the Patriots. When they play non-division opponents and are favored by this many points, Matt, they win 48-20, 42-10, 30-0. Like, they win these games by a lot all the time. And I think that the rest thing is important here. If this was Sunday to Sunday, I could be like, you know what, maybe there's like a letdown spot, but like they've been sitting at home waiting to play for a couple days now. I mean, extra days, like they're going to be rested, dude. Yeah, the guys on defense aren't going to play, but I don't know what the case is for anything else. There's no look ahead spot. They play New England the next week. That game actually might be overseas. But no, oh God, New England, Buffalo, Sunday Night Football.
Oh God,
jeez.
People had high hopes for New England.
I think we just put. I think we put Buffalo in here. I actually think this might. This might make sharp people's cards for this weekend. I really think so.
Well, no one is betting on the Saints, and obviously, but we're still seeing 72% of the bets are on Buffalo to cover this. I just don't know what the number would be before I'd be like, I don't know. But Josh Allen he's not covered, Jeff, in his last 8 straight as a double-digit favorite. So that is a little bit concerning. Yeah. But go ahead.
Worth noting here. So the Saints lost 2013 to the Cardinals in week 1 at home, 26-21 at home. Their first road game, they lost 44-13.
Yeah.
Now they're back on the road.
To Sam Darnold. Yeah.
Flying all the way back home from Seattle, back on the road. Tyler Shuck is probably going to play at some point this week. Like, it's just, the Saints are not good, man.
Playing outside. Yeah. It's not ideal. Let's put this in the maybes. I would feel fine as this being like our 5th. But man, that is a big number, and it's a dead. I've never seen. Can you call 15.5 a dead number? Like, what is that? Like, I don't. Is it going to be a 16-point game? It's
is that like what 30-15, like an extra point somewhere? Like,
how do we get killed on this? Is it 30-12, and then it's Tyler Shuck and Kendre Miller run down the field?
Yeah, so the total is 47.5. So the way we get fucked is like the Bills are just, they put in Mac Barkley, throws a pick 6. You know what I mean? Like that. Like that's what it is, right?
Yeah. Right. Yep. Yeah. I mean, we have to at least consider it. Some injuries to Buffalo that are worth noting. No, Matt Milano, Ed Oliver, Spencer Brown all didn't practice on Wednesday when we record this. So I don't know. We have to at least consider it, which is the craziest thing ever. But we got to do it. Wow, this line has moved a lot since I last looked at it. The Browns are going to Detroit after a huge win against Green Bay. The Lions are laying 10 points now. What a surprise. This touched like 8.5 a few days ago.
What's funny is we didn't even, I'm looking at our from last week, we didn't even put the Browns as a maybe last week. Which we would, like in previous weeks, again, we think back to previous years, 7.5 against the Packers would have been great.
We missed the number. It was like 9.5 the day before. That's
buddy. This feels like 58-10.
Okay, make the case. I'm on the same side.
The case is that the same case I make with Buffalo. I actually think it's a better case with the Lions. They've won. They won 52-21 to Chicago. They just put up 38 in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Right. Look, the Browns defense is really, really good. I'm with you there. But the Browns offense is poo. It is a bad offense. And can they defensively like put up a fight for a while? Absolutely. But I'm not sure I want to play it, honestly. But look, last year they beat Tennessee 52-14 at home. They beat Jacksonville 52-6 at home last season. It's sort of what they do at home against bad teams the last couple of years. So, they beat Carolina 2 years ago at home 42-24. Even like when they don't, like they beat Vegas a few years ago on 26-14, like not a high scoring game, but they still covered the 10. So I don't know, man. Are we going to put in the maybes?
I think that they would be the play here. The Lions have covered 70% of their games in the regular season since Dan Campbell got there. There's concern, obviously, it's a short week and a tough defense and all those things, but the side here is 100% the Lions. This could turn into a track meet, and then all of a sudden Joe Flacco's throwing and bad things happen in that case. I don't know if I don't think that the Browns have, the Lions, when they're able to just run downhill, they're unstoppable. I'm not sure that the Browns will be able to like actually put the clamps on like they could against Josh Jacobs and like a backup offensive line for Green Bay. So I'm interested, but we missed this number. I mean, this is just when we record the show, but this number was sitting at 8.5, and
I know,
even lower after the Browns won, it was like 7.5. So that's why we didn't take them last week, because it went from I think 10 down to 7.5 by the time we recorded. So we just you try to get the best of the number. So that would be my concern here. But I wish we could get 9.5. I feel like I'd be into that. 10 points is a lot to cover. Even though these two teams are obviously pretty different in talent levels.
Yeah, I mean, are we gonna end up with a 15 minus 15.5 and a minus 10 in our card? I'm
That's a
fine with it.
nightmare. That's a
But
nightmare.
But what else are we gonna? We'll go down this list. What else are we gonna play, Matt?
We got to put it in the maybes.
There is one game I love this week. That's about it. And I don't know if you're gonna like it, but there's one game I love. It's
That's
not
how
the
this
next one.
works.
I promise you that.
Okay. Well, we have one that we're sure of, Tampa, and then
Yes.
we've got three maybes. I guess maybe just two in Buffalo and Cleveland. Okay. Moving on to my team. The Commanders are. This line moved a lot. It's now the Falcons are favored by 1.5.
Yeah, because Daniels is not going to play. That's why.
Yeah, but it's just interesting that this.
That's the word I got today. Before that line moved, I got a text like, "Bet Atlanta now because it's going to move," and it moved.
Yeah, he did practice today. The thing that's crazy is Terry McLaurin might be out for like a really long time, which would be devastating for Washington. I think we've made a moratorium on the Falcons anyway.
Yeah,
correct?
We're not doing it. How about for time purposes? We'll just take a.
I love it.
We'll
I
just
love
skip
it. Go Commanders.
I do hope I get a picture from your. Well, I guess your wife put on Instagram, or maybe you sent it to me of you and your son like watching Commanders football together. Very cute.
Yeah, man.
We need more
He's
of that
locked
on
in.
Sundays.
He's wearing a Jaden Daniel. It's sports day at his daycare, and he's wearing a Jaden Daniel shirt as we speak.
That's incredible.
That's our guy.
Kids used to wear, I think, my stuff. My kids still don't think it's cool yet that I play in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cooler to be wearing your actual dad's shirt than some guy who we love but haven't actually met. So, that's pretty cool.
You could probably meet him somehow. All right, let's get to the next game. This one I feel like we'll again, to give our listeners we do skip some games that we don't care about. This might be one of them.
Well, this is just, we can't play it. It's Tennessee at Houston. Houston's laying 7 points despite not winning a game. There's no, what would this have to be for you to take Tennessee? 12, 14, 100? Like, Tennessee is just not a bettable team.
If you gave me 14.5, I would do it. Because
I think I would.
The Texans would win 14-3. Do you know who has the least amount of points in the NFL?
Is it Houston?
Houston.
What's going on with them?
Let me make sure I'm right on this before I open up my dumb mouth. Yeah, they have 38 points this season.
Man.
38 points. So a couple things. One is their offensive line is not very good. And then they can't run the football. And then Stroud doesn't look very comfortable and confident in this offense. And there's nothing to, like, you want to have something you do well. Even if it's just running the football, Matt, like in hard times, what do we do? And, we had Houston last week. And so I watched a lot of that game. In hard times, they have nothing to lean on. They got nothing. There's nothing they do well. Nothing you're like, and I thought this would be a different offense this year. Stroud has more command of the offense. That rookie year seems more like an aberration. Like, we're going to talk about the next game coming up in a second here. But I think it's fair to say, Matt, is Bryce Young catching up to CJ Stroud as far as where they're in their careers right now, right? Like, Stroud is not playing well.
That's quite a take. I haven't heard anyone make that. And Bryce, like, they have their signs of life with him every game. Houston is the first team to ever start 0-3 while allowing 55 or fewer points in their first 3 games. That's a very specific and good stat. They're tied with Miami for the fewest points in the league. Everyone loves Houston, which is so scary. I was thinking, like, are they a team you would trust in Survivor, for instance, this week? Like, I'm thinking about it, but maybe I'll have to burn Buffalo. But this is one where it's like, what is Houston? What can we say they're for sure good at? Their defense is very good, but they also haven't played anybody really either, except the Rams when they were still kind of rusty. So I don't really know what to do with them, but there's part of me that says, like, maybe we should just bet on them to, like, win the AFC South still, because that division is just so bad.
So I saw something that, like, 80% of teams that start, or 75% of teams that start 3-0 make the playoffs. That means 25% don't. And there's 6 teams that are 3-0 right now. So 2 of the 6, 1.5 of the 6 aren't going to make it. So let's say 2 of the 6, Matt. Well, they're the team. Yeah, they're plus 350, I think, to miss the playoffs. And my favorite. Do you want to add that to our portfolio?
I love that. Let's put that in there.
Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I have the right number right now. It might be a little bit less. Let me make sure.
Oh, I really like that one.
So Colts no playoffs plus 270. How about that?
Sold. Done.
Right,
Absolutely.
Hank, mark 100 on that for us, please, for that prop. I also added. We can probably do. Look, Okay, can I give you my little bit of a closing line value, tiny rant right now?
Please.
Okay, so CLV closing line value to me is a myth. Okay, it's something that I'm gonna upset sharp bettors. It is what it is, but that like sharp bettors chase to like feel good about the wager they make instead of feeling good about winning the wager they make. If that makes sense, right? Like there are people that I follow that you follow that pride themselves on like I got the best number, but you didn't come close to winning. I got the best number though. I want to win. That's my goal. And yeah, I might get a bad number. Certainly true. But I just try to want to win the wager. So I'll give you my example. Jim Harbaugh right now for coach of the year is plus 650. Okay. That is not a good number. It's not the better number. It's not the number that you could have gotten a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Matt. But right now at plus 650, that's probably the best number you might get the rest of the season on this guy. I mean, the Chargers are 3-0. Okay. They don't have a first place schedule. They're probably winning the division, I think. As of now, the Chiefs might change. We'll talk about them later. But like plus 650, yeah, it might have been plus 1,000. You didn't get good closing line value. I don't care. I think it might win actually, Matt. Like I'm not going to bet, some coach or some award that's not going to win because the best value is right now. I take futures on guys that they can win the actual award or win the bet. You know what I mean, Matt? Like, so
100%.
I'm okay adding Harbaugh too, putting 100 on that as well at plus 650 to win coach of the year.
It's not a bad bet. I actually think it's a really good bet.
We had two futures. There we go.
I had a debate with a buddy who I think is probably listening to this show right now, who this week he was saying we should bet on the Browns playoffs. Like now's the time to, the number, if they win again, the number is going to, it's going to be harder to catch them. And it's like, dude, the Browns aren't going to the playoffs. Like this is like an imaginary exercise. The Browns suck. Like they had one good game and like their value would have been better a week ago. Like, what are we talking about? Like you have to actually win the bet for it to count.
Correct. And I also just, in my own personal CLV, like I lose so many wagers, Matt, where I get the better number that I just don't think it matters to the way I wager. It might matter to someone who's much sharper than me and they crunch the numbers and you win by half a point all the time. I never do. I never we won the Eagles wager because of luck, but that's not close. That's not because we got a better number.
No,
we just we got the Eagles wager. We just won. I'm never like I got that half point. I really won that way. It never happens to me. And in fact, the other way always happens where I get a better number and lose outright.
Yeah, this is all sort of like, it's all make-believe. And we have to remember, unless you're like an incredible professional who, if you're listening to us, you're not. Like, just get it out. Just understand that about yourself. 53, 55% of your wagers, like it's basically breaking even. And it's like, it's really, really hard to do that. And I get it. That little half point is helpful sometimes, but like, last week, this killed us because we could have bet on we both liked the Browns, but we said we missed the number. We already talked about this. And it was like, well, if we miss it, like we could have done better. Like, no, we should have just picked the side that we believed in. So I'm with you. I'm happy we touched on this.
There's my closing line value rant. So how about this? We'll take a pause here for the video audience. Stay tuned. For the audio audience, we'll be back in just a second. We got one more, I believe, 1:00 game to hit. And then we'll get to the later slate of games. So we're back in a second. All right, Matt, we're back. One more 1:00 game, I believe. And then we get to the afternoon. So I actually like a sign this 1:00 game. I want to talk it through with you.
Uh-oh. It's your Carolina Panthers at the New England Patriots. 5.5 points for the Patriots.
Why? What the fuck? What the fuck? What 5.5 points? Have you seen the New England Patriots play football this season?
I sure have.
They have a
Let's
million
lock
penalties.
it in.
They have a million penalties a game. What are we? 5.5? Am I crazy, bro? 5.5 is an insane number in this game.
I think. What are we doing with the Patriots? What are we doing with Mike Vrabel? Like, this guy won a playoff game against Tom Brady like what, 5 years ago, and we're still saying I think he's like the best coach ever since.
I think it was 2019.
Yeah, I remember watching it in like it was before the pandemic. Yeah, it was before then. That's
Tom
what
Brady
we're still giving him credit for.
Brady went to Tampa in 2020. That's how I remember.
Yeah,
that.
that's right. It ended Brady. Yeah, in New England.
Okay, look, since Carolina got down 27-3 against Arizona in the third quarter, they've outscored their opponents, Matt. What is that? 49-0 since then, right?
Man.
They pitched a shutout against the Falcons. And so the Panthers, look, we thought the Panthers were going to be good this season, right? Like, I think we both were on the Panthers, like, not good, but like they finally sort of hit their stride. New England, the turnovers, the penalties, the indisciplined play, I don't get this number at all. It makes no sense to me.
I like it. I think this is definitely a point too high. I think that not a lot of people are going to have the courage to bet on the Panthers. Bryce Young, concerningly, 1-14 straight up on the road in his career, 5-10 against the spread. The Cardinals was a cover. Yeah, I mean, look, the Patriots, just like, who has faith in them? Like, what is it exactly that they're good at on offense? What is it that they're good at on defense? Gonzalez might play, but he's going to be limited, I would imagine, even if he does. I might be on the wrong side on this one, but dude, I think this Vrabel thing is residue from 5 years ago. Like, I don't see it. Like,
I don't either.
The Titans fired him and hired Callahan and thought that was an upgrade. So maybe they don't know what they're doing. But yeah, I like this one. The Panthers, I think, maybe have benefited from not a lot of people watching them every single week.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's throw that one in. We're moving to the late window in the afternoon Sunday now. The Rams hosting the Colts in what, I mean, maybe is the best game of the week apart from Ravens Chiefs. The line is 3.5 here for the Rams. And
should we just? So I'm using a red pen today to mark the wagers that, like, we have in red pen that I'm not going to change, and I feel like the Los Angeles Rams minus 3.5 are a red pen play for this weekend.
Sign me up, brother. I could not agree with you more. I think this is the week the Colts finally wake up from the dream.
The dream of beating the Dolphins, needing a leverage penalty to beat the Broncos, and being the worst team in the NFL.
Correct.
Like that they wake up from that dream. And also, because the Rams lost last week and the way they lost, they're going to be so focused this week on not losing in a shitty way again. Like, they're a veteran team, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, this is the week not all crumbles down. But by the way, one of our better future wagers has been all the Tyler Warren props we did.
Yeah.
Because he is just as advertised, really good. And so, I really like the Rams here. I'm all in. We got like a lot of ones we end up liking this week, which could be good or bad. We'll see.
Yeah. I just think the Colts, like, they can do one thing really well. Like, they've had a really good run game, and they haven't really been exposed by a really good offensive opponent just yet. Daniel Jones has I don't know. I guess he's good he's good indoors on the road. Maybe that's a concern. But I just think that the Colts are about to just level up in their competition here. The hook makes you a little bit nervous, but I kind of feel like that's the reason is that they just need some people to bet on the Colts. Because I think everybody who's watches these games is going to want to take the Rams.
I think we are learning too that, like, you shouldn't be afraid of that 3.5, especially with the way teams go for 2, and so I'm all in on that. So we got a lot of games we like. I think the next game we're not going to like.
I'm going to give you one more stat from our buddy Evan.
Okay.
Last week, the Rams were 3.5-point dogs to Philly. They were up by 19 points, and they were 3.5-point dogs, right? Teams in that exact situation are 185-5 against the spread the last 20 years.
Crazy.
So we really definitely got lucky there with the Eagles. We were staring down 0-5. So thank you, Jordan Davis, for running that one home. Jordan Davis, by the way, we had a great Super Bowl prop on him last year. Maybe he's our guy. Maybe we're a Jordan Davis podcast.
Like 18.5 miles per hour, by the the
Yeah, man. The guy's a hoss.
Sam Schwartz was like on that immediately. I loved it so much.
He was
ready. He was ready. He sent me I was like, is that stat true? And he sent me like a screenshot of, like, next gen stats of fat guys running down the field. Cause, like, Sam's the best ever. Yeah. So he has like a whole thing right here. Like, here we go. Top speed. Ready? You want to read you the list real quick?
Sure.
So Jordan Davis 1. Linval Joseph was 2. 2018, he had an interception, and he ran at 18.16 miles per hour. Ndamukong Suh, 2019, 18 miles an hour. Leonard Williams, was it last year, the pick six against Aaron Rodgers, if you remember, 17 miles per hour. We have one offensive lineman here, Taylor Lewan. I guess Ricard.
Fellow podcaster.
Is it Patrick Ricard?
Fullback?
Ricard,
yeah.
Fullback, sort of offensive lineman as well. That's the list. Top speed the last, I don't know, however many years. So I love it so much. It's good to have Sam in that spot. Do you want to skip the next game or what? Are we gonna do this game?
Jaguars 49ers laying 3. This I think assumes Brock Purdy will play. Hard to know if that's the case here on Wednesday as we record this. I think we just have to pass based on that.
They said he's limited today in practice, whatever that means. It's
which is what they said about Daniels too today, by the way.
I know, but Sharps think he's out. I'll just tell you that. They think he's out. I
do too.
All right. Next game, I think we're going to stay away, I think. But
yeah, let's hear. The Ravens coming off of a brutal loss again in primetime. Short week going to Kansas City, and Kansas City is catching 2.5 points at home. Who thought this would ever happen? Seems like Xavier Worthy might play this week, which I guess is a big deal.
Well, the loser goes to 1-3, buddy.
Can you imagine?
1-3. I mean, look, the only play is Kansas City, but it really depends on like how you feel about their offense at the moment, right? Their run defense has been good. Like I think they're gonna be fine on defense. We saw with a little bit of help down the field, Thornton opened up the offense a little bit. If he's playing and Worthy's playing, they probably will be fine on offense, Matt, this week. I'm fine as a Chiefs fan just sitting at home and watching this game at 4:25 on Sunday without having any money on it. But it would be Chiefs or nothing for me.
Yeah, I mean, this one just hits all of our radars as like, why wouldn't you just take the Chiefs here? So they played 7 times, these two quarterbacks. The Chiefs are 5-1, 4-2 against the spread. Lamar way better as a dog. Same with Mahomes.
Yeah.
When his opponents are on short rest, the Chiefs are 8-3, 18-3 straight up when Mahomes is quarterback. The thing that's so interesting here is this Derrick Henry thing has been really confounding. He just hasn't had a great start to the season. These fumbles are really odd. Baltimore 4-7 straight up when he rushes for under 100 yards with them, which is insane because he's rushed for over 100 yards 11 times in just over a season. So I think the play here obviously would be Kansas City just defending their home turf, being underdogs, turning things around, getting the monkey off of their back last week. And Baltimore just like continues to find a way to lose games. I don't know. I don't have a lot of conviction about other games on the slate this week, and this one just kind of feels like it's like, why not?
I know this. I know. Yeah, it's a maybe for me. We got 4 games left. I think we can.
I do like
breeze through them because I do want to get to college football, Matt. And we've been told that we have to be under an hour, otherwise people don't want to listen to us. So we have to make sure to follow the people in charge of us.
Fair enough.
So Bears Raiders. Do you like anything in this one?
I do. I like the Raiders.
Okay.
I think the Raiders are catching 1.5 points at home. The Bears are coming off of a massive blowout win of Dallas, where everyone thinks that the drought is over. I don't know. Like, can we see it? Can we see the Bears go on the road and, Geno Smith coming off of 2 straight losses and everybody kind of being out on a Pete Carroll team and selling the Bears after a huge win? Like, can I interest you in any of that?
The only reason I'd say no is just not really to me about the Bears. It's like the Raiders, I don't think are very good. We were different on that in the preseason, right? You were high on the Raiders. I wasn't. Their offensive line is really bad. Genti has nowhere to run. Geno Smith, I kept telling everyone I didn't think he was very good. I thought he was a little overrated compared to what we thought of him and what we want him to be, and he has looked that way so far. And look, we could see the Bears sort of not hitting their final stride, but look, Caleb Williams has looked better progressively in every week, Matt. And there's no saying he won't look well against the bad Raiders team. I would, maybe he's fine. I mean, in the maybes, but I don't love it. If you want to put it in there, we certainly can have that conversation.
Well, something interesting is there's this stat that's been going around. Ashton Genti has 145 total yards after contact, but only 144 rushing yards this year. So he's getting hit in the backfield pretty much every play. He did look a little bit more alive last week against the Commanders. The Bears defense last in running back rush yards allowed before contact. So in theory, this should be the spot where he could potentially break out. I just think people are writing off the Raiders too quickly. They do have a lot of talent. They will be able to play the run a bit better. I know last week they kind of got gashed, but it was a short week. It was a very interesting new offense with Mariota that they sort of had to see. Like, I just think that the Bears, everyone's just where you just were, of like, oh, maybe they figured it out. Maybe they're there. It's like, well, maybe the Raiders aren't going to be terrible. Like, it's still a decent quarterback. It's still a great head coach. They still have some pieces on the defense. The Bears, by the way, the first couple weeks of the season, every quarterback could face them one player of the week in their conference. Like, I do think the Raiders can put up points here.
Possibly. I think that the Bears defense probably isn't great all because they played a Cowboys team that lost, CeeDee Lamb immediately. Speaking about the Cowboys, let's get to Cowboys Packers here. Do you like any of these last three games, by the way?
I do not.
Okay, so we can maybe be a little bit brief here.
Let's touch them quickly. The Packers are like 7 in Dallas in the Micah Parsons Bowl. I don't know. I think the Cowboys would be the side, but without Micah Parsons, it's sort of hard to do that, right? Or I'm sorry, without CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, and the Cowboys are dummies for putting him at running back. Like, so you can be tackled by Noah Sewell. Like, congratulations, you played yourselves there. Cowboys are passed. Maybe the over again. It didn't get home against the Bears, but I think the over in Cowboys games this year are going to be the play, Matt, each and every game.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. It's Monday Night Football doubleheader this week. Jets Dolphins is the first one. Jets Dolphins 3-point favorites at home with the break. Yikes! I can't imagine a single person that wants to touch this.
I mean, why are the Dolphins the 3-point favorite? The Dolphins are.
You want to take the Jets?
No, I'm just saying I don't really. If you're taking a side, it's that. Look, after Saturday of football this weekend, where we have these monster big games, right? Oregon, Penn State, Georgia, Alabama. We have Sunday, obviously, Chiefs, Ravens. Like, Monday feels like a reset night where you just sort of like, it's on in the background, Matt, but you don't have to go hardcore into Monday Night Football because these matchups just are not great.
Yeah, these are rough, man. The second one is the Broncos laying 7.5 to the Bengals. Jake Browning, I just don't know how you can take the Bengals or the Broncos, really.
No.
And that's just such a tricky number.
Yeah, so we're not on that game. So let's get quickly to what I think we do like, okay? Just very quickly. So I think we have 3 yeses so far, Matt, okay? Tampa Bay, Carolina, and the Rams. Are we good on those 3 yeses?
Love.
Okay. We did like Buffalo and Detroit. Do you want to take one or the other? Or do you want to throw them both out? We have Buffalo minus 15.5, Detroit minus 10.
What else do we have?
Kansas City, Vegas, and the Chargers. Let's throw the Chargers out. Or do you want to keep them in?
Well, you like the Chargers.
Yeah, but okay, here's the deal. So would you rather take Buffalo minus 15.5 and Detroit minus 10.5 or the Chargers minus 6? I'd rather take the 2 home favorites, right?
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, the Chargers feel like a bit of a trap to me. I'd like to lay off of that. So yeah, I think Buffalo is kind of a fun one.
So take Detroit. So take Detroit out of it then, and just take Buffalo as one of the big favorites.
I think I'm okay with that.
Okay.
What do you think of the Raiders?
Okay, Chiefs or Raiders?
Chiefs or Raiders? I think. Oh man. If you're out on the Raiders, let's take the Chiefs. Like, the Chiefs are a responsible bet.
Let me see. Do we have any information on our favorite people on the Chiefs or not yet? Do we know?
I do not.
No, I'm curious because like this does, I know you think it's crazy sometimes, but there are people that we do trust, like essentially one person. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. There are bad people though on Baltimore though. The records are have shown that a lot of money on.
Do we take both of them and kick out Buffalo in the 15.5? We could do that. I think one of them is going to win. Like one of them is going to cover either the Raiders or the Chiefs. I don't know which.
Would you rather just have Kansas City though?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so Tampa plus 3.5, Buffalo minus 15.5, Carolina plus 5.5, Rams minus 3.5, Chiefs plus 2.5. Matt, does that work for us?
Let's lock it in, brother. I think there's a 3 and 2 in there somewhere.
How about a 5-0 for once?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
This is a tricky week.
Your Terrapins. Actually, we have to take a break, I think, still. So let's take a break. Yeah. One more break.
Let's take a break. What a tease. We're coming back to talk Maryland football. Let's go.
Who killed me last week? We'll do that next. Be right back. Okay, Matt, we're back. Your Terrapins screwed me last week, and I'm disappointed about it.
That's on you for betting against Malik, brother. That's on you.
Well, you scored I took the under 16.5. You scored 13 points on your own and 14 points off turnovers. That kind of, I think I was sort of right on that. But nonetheless, let's get back to what I do well in college football. We'll talk about the big games, and then we'll talk about I like some ugly sides. This is like great college football. Okay. Oregon, Penn State this weekend. My Ducks go to Penn State. Penn State's off a bye, Matt. It's a whiteout. So they have 7:30 Eastern game. They are the veteran team. Oregon brings a young team to Happy Valley. Oregon only has 8 players starting in this game that started in the Big Ten Championship game against Penn State. Only 8 guys that played in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State. So it's a younger team. But, this game is really fascinating to me because it reminds me a lot of Georgia, Tennessee, where Georgia goes on the road. Tennessee comes out early, hits them, bing, bang, boom, touchdown. And Georgia just stayed alive. They clawed their way back, and they won the game in the end. I think Oregon's on that same path where if you can withstand Penn State off a bye, what they have going for you, you can win this game. And I don't trust Penn State's offense right now. Drew Aller is not good, their quarterback. I get it. So people say, well, they haven't played anyone yet, so they haven't had to show anything. It's kind of a bad excuse. We see other teams that are good play bad teams, and they kick their ass on offense. I don't buy that. So the way I would play this game, for those who are curious, I think a Penn State first quarter wager would be the way I would go, or like even a first quarter under for the game. And then as the teams figure each other out, I think Oregon's going to have to take a little bit of time to get used to the environment and get used to playing in this game. And they can withstand that. To me, they can withstand and win the game. The game under also entices me. 51.5 right now in DraftKings. There are some issues with both offensive tackles I think each defense can exploit. And so I'm just really curious to see how this game goes. But that's how I would play the game. We're looking forward to it though, Matt.
Yeah, that's a great one. Good challenge for your guys. Do you have a Bama Georgia take?
So my Bama Georgia take is that this is not. So I'm gonna relate this a little bit to Kansas City, but not this Kansas City team. But there were times when the Chiefs were favored by 3, Matt, and you're just like, yeah, duh. Of course, the Chiefs gonna win and cover this game.
Right.
That's how I feel about Georgia. Of course they're Georgia. Now, I get Alabama has won a lot of games against Georgia recently, and I get that that's why the number is so low. But you sort of have a Georgia team that didn't play terribly well against Tennessee at times. A Bama team, as we know, that has played better since week 1, obviously. The team is at Georgia. They've won something like 30 straight home games. It's a hard place to play. And I get kind of a sort of a pissed off Georgia team. Like, we're 3-point favorites? What the hell is this? And I like Georgia a lot in this game, man. Like, this to me is a buddy of ours, Dan Rubenstein, always says like an under think express, essentially. That's something like just underthink it, man. Georgia's the side in this one.
That's I kind of agree with you. I think they're getting a little bit of Mike Vrabel kickback here of the glory days, maybe tainting this number a bit. Go ahead. You mentioned some ugly sides. There's a lot of good games this week.
This one is so I like Houston at Oregon State minus 13.5. Houston's off a bye. They are really good on defense so far. They're seventh in the country in points per drive. They played Colorado and like Rice and some podunk teams, but the Beavers outright stink, Matt. Just lost to Oregon 41-7. They're back home. There's no home field advantage in this game. They're sort of beaten and broken. They've got their butts kicked now in many, many games this season. They haven't looked good. And I just think that this is a tough spot for Oregon off a rivalry game, off an emotional game with Houston fresh off a bye, the way they play defense. I like Stanford minus 2.5 against San Jose State. When you have two bad teams, if I can get one good thing about one team, that's what I like. In this game, Stanford's running back is really good. He gets a lot of yards after contact and a lot of explosive runs. And San Jose State particularly isn't good at tackling. And I think this is like when you have one thing you do well, then the other team who is stinking, like both teams are bad, Matt. I lean to Stanford here, which I know, I get it. It's ugly. It is what it is. The other ugly game I like at the moment, UCLA getting 6 points at Northwestern.
UCLA? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So let me explain my reasoning here. Obviously their coach got fired. Both teams off a bye, but just roster construction. And this does matter, Matt. I know people don't think it matters, but you see it with Maryland now. If you have more players that are better than the other team, you win a lot more games. I know it's a really simple thing to say. Like, nice, for example, like Malik Washington, right? 5-star quarterback. He's pretty freaking good. He's better than Billy Edwards, who you had last season, right? Like, he's still young. He's better. The Bruins have better players. Now, they haven't played to that standard yet so far this season, but they fired their coach. They have an extra week to prepare. So Northwestern, by the way, and they're just better. This number to me is way too big for two teams that if you were to say the Bruins were playing a touch better entering this game, this would be a pick 'em. This to me is just too many points, Matt. So I like these ugly sides. This is college football in a nutshell, man.
I think college football in a nutshell is Lane Kiffin commenting on a post that his daughter posted dating the LSU linebacker and him saying take the over. I think that is college football in a nutshell there. That is just pure insanity. Hit my radar.
That is college football. Lane Kiffin knows the number very, very well. That's the thing he knows. There's also like two games this weekend in the Big Ten that are very much like NFL handicaps that are hard for me to get to, which is Iowa laying 7.5, taking 7.5 points at home against Indiana off that big win. Like this is like a home dog 7.5. It's very much an NFL type mindset, right? Where again, conference opponents, you're off a big win. But I think Indiana might blow them out again, back-to-back weeks. That would be my dominant Iowa. The other one's Illinois getting 6.5 at hosting USC off that loss. That was gonna be hard to get to get to the door with. But again, the three ones I like and I have wagered on: Houston, Stanford, UCLA. Matt, those are my three wagers in pocket as of today. At Geoff Schwartz on social media, Twitter. I post my plays. I think I'm now. What am I? I was 11. I think I'm 14. No, I was 8-6 this week. So I think I'm 11-10 in college football. So a little slow start. Too many plays last week. I double dipped. I did too many dumb stuff. Menu much shorter this week. Tampa Bay plus 3.5. Buffalo minus 15.5. Carolina plus 5.5. Rams minus 3.5. KC plus 2.5. That's our 5 NFL plays plus the 3 college plays. All right, buddy. Let's get better than 1-4 this week. We'll talk to you guys next week, everyone. Take care.
We got this.
We got it. Let's go.